Okay, so let us start. I think now my voice is clear. Okay, so the important aspect about network security is also one of the another part where we have to talk about how we can capture the data packets and how we can mitigate the risk in case if there is some certain risks are there in the network. So what is the best practice to implement some firewalls? So in case like you have Windows, so within Windows you have to implement some firewalls and all. So what is the best practice to implement the firewalls? We'll go for that. We'll talk about other aspects. So in this session we are going to talk about more on sniffers. So how the sniffers are working and firewalls are working. So we'll talk on that, right? So I'm going to start one of the application called Wireshark. Now what is Wireshark? Now this Wireshark is the application which is very helpful to capture the data packets, all real-time data packets being captured by using this application called Wireshark. Now what is the purpose? Basically this is a concept called as sniffers. So what do you mean? The concept, this concept called as sniffers. Now what do you mean by the concept called sniffers? So sniffers are the kind of a data packets, basically a special type of application which used to capture all the data packets generated on the same network, right? So it is a process where we are going to capture the data packets uh, generated by the network. So let's say we'll go for a Wireshark. Let's say we'll in the Linux, even it is available for Windows or for Mac OS. This is an open source product, so you can go and download this software, so you will not face any inconvenience. So I have already downloaded in the Linux, so I'm going to share the screen. So you can see this is the product, which is the main concept of Wireshark, right? Now what this application will do, as I told you, we are on the network, so how to capture the data packets from the network, and can we able to capture the packet from Wi-Fi, from the LAN, where many other machines are also interacting at the same time. So your machine connected to whatever the switch, it basically used to capture all the data packet generated on the switch by other machines as well, right? So that is a purpose called sniffing. So we are going to capture the data packets. Now as we want to capture the data packets, let's say first we have to open the Wireshark. It's a very good product. There are many other products also which comes under the category of sniffing, but they don't have a, such a good interface, or some limitations are also there. Like one of the software called TCP dump, you can try TCP dump also. One, the previous version was Ethereal, so Wireshark is the extension of Ethereal. Okay, so you can try Ethereal. but you can go for one of the another software called TCP dump. So that is also very good product. But this one, no doubt, it's one of the best product, because it used to capture all the data packet generated on the network. Okay, so how it works, you need to open this application, and from this application you have to select your interface. Right now, let's say I'm on Wi-Fi. So if I'll double click, once I'll double click, you can see the flood of the packets. So this application is divided into three categories. The top one is the area where we are going to capture all the data packets. The second frame is basically to display you the header of that data packets. And the third frame is basically to display the data in ASCII and hexadecimal values. So you can see the real flood which is going on right now on the network, and accordingly we can capture the data packets. Let's say we'll select any UDP packet, RTCP packet, you can see TCP packet, right? So what is going in this packet, you can check. So you have to select a particular packet. On the backend, data collection is going on, but right now I just selected a packet. You can check the headers of the packet, like by clicking on frame, time of arrival, all other parametric values like frame number, frame length, captured length of the packet or frame. Then we have another category of MAC addresses. So your source MAC address, destination MAC address is there. Then the IP address from which machine to which machine packet received or transmitted. So source and destination part, their header length, uh, further their details like what exactly lies in these systems. So it's already there. Then we have a source IP and destination IPs, and the protocol type, like it is transferring from the port number like 443. So there also you can check the ports, destination ports, source ports. So we can check all these ports, right? The sequence number of packet and the type of packet, that it's an acknowledgement. So my machine might be send any packet to this IP to the port number 443, and there is a reply from this IP address, this website where you have a port 443, which means HTTPS. So there is a reply from the server that the packet has been received. So we got the acknowledgement packet. You can see this is the acknowledgement. The length of the packet, source port, destination port, I think you can further elaborate and access what all the content is there on the backend. Various different types of parameters along with their values. So you can explore each and every protocol to check what are there behind this particular protocol, and take it like thousands of protocols are there. So for every protocol you have to explore what all their options, their parameters, like let's say timestamp is there. Now TCP payload, is there any backdoor payload which is running on the TCP connection? Data transmission model. So what all the data being transmitted, you just need to click over there at the last one in the case where the data is going, and further you can check the data. Although this is just an acknowledgement packet, so there is no as such relevant data, but in case if you have HTTP, you have SMTP, you have FTP, so any data which is moving in the plain text, or even the data which is encrypted, so we can capture both. But if it is plain text, so it is directly readable. But if it is encrypted, so first you need to download by using these apps, and further you can decrypt, or you can do certain R&D on those packets. Fine. So this is the way how this model works, and you can capture all their packets. Now if we want to filter their packet, let's say I want to check as a source my machine send many packets. So as a source 192.168.1.12, I need to check what all the packets being generated. So for that we need to apply certain filters. Make sure you're in your examination also, many questions comes related to filters. You have to run Wireshark, capture the packets. Further, you have to identify the details which are going through with those packets and generate a report on that basis. Many times this 40-mark question comes in the examination. So there you have to type the protocols, like there's a filter part. So we can filter because it's a huge packet. So if I just wrote IP, you can see there's a pop down menu where I have to select all these values. So let's say I want to select IP source, ip.src, which is equals to you can write your name or your whatever the IP address you have. So as a source, I just mentioned that this is my IP 192.168.1.12. So if I'll just click go and enter, so now it filters the packet, only it displays you those packet which where my source IP is 192.168.1.12. Presently I have many other packets you can see from different IP addresses, but the filtration is going on. So it is about to filter. I'll just stop it, I think more capturing, but just take a look. We are going to filter all the packets. So further now you can see after execution of this filter, you can see the sources are now always 192.168.1.12. So you have got many protocols, UDP, TCP, and many such data being transmitted to which server. You can see presently we are connected with 74 IP series, okay, or 14. So 74 or 14, if you go and check who is last, I think in the last session I have discussed about footprints. So you can also capture this IP and check the footprints of this IP, whether it really belongs to this person or not, or this organization or not. So it's a complete detail, something like that, right? Is there any problem, any query? So this way we can apply many filters. Further, like you want to say I want to see only TCP protocol, so you can try many other filters like and TCP. So I want TCP protocol only. So you can see protocol is TCP only, and then the IP address is 192.168.1.12. Same way you try to access a FTP, SMTP, HTTP, and extract the data packets, that could be your passwords. At least you can try like this, and further you can go and hack the passwords of any machine, but for that you need to explore how it works technically, right? So now you can see only I got a TCP selected list, no UDP, no other protocol. Source IP is fixed. Along with the source IP, the port number is fixed. So now you got many multiple ports synchronized, right, with your IP address. So it displays you all that. But we filter with the protocol like TCP. So now you are only getting the output where your machine transfer the packet to the foreign IP, or vice versa. We can use ip.dst for destination, or many other, right? Is that clear? Any doubt to anyone? So just try the concept of Wireshark. It's a very vast subject. It's not a small subject, a very vast subject where you can apply many filters depending upon what type of data packets you have, and how you uh, able to manage the process flow of the data, and many more things which are there behind this product called Wireshark. So everybody should download a software called Wireshark and just try and practice. Make sure you do not have the manage switch, because in case of manage switch it won't be able to capture the data packet from other machines. Presently you can manage on your machine. Tomorrow we have to work, let's say, for another different type of packages, data collection, data filtration, and many more decision making models. So for that we can use this data, and we can do a lot of hands-on on this data, so that it becomes quite easy to handle and apply the filters in Wireshark, because thousands of protocols are there. For every protocol we have different parameters, so accordingly we need to cross check, right? Yeah, so I hope this concept is clear, how to apply the Wireshark of managed switch, which means we can go and manage the switch, where for every particular port, or the services or the bandwidth being utilized or shared by that specific user. So we used to create yeah, from DevOps. So you can go and create any application, you can define any data, and the data is moving now. Suppose if your data is moving and now you are on the promiscuous mode, so on your managed switch. So on your managed switch there is a concept called promiscuous mode. What is promiscuous mode? Because the switching concept, the theory of the switching very clearly said that the data would only transfer between point to point, right? So any particular node wants to transfer the data packet to the another node, and at the same time you do not want to get hacked, that others can able to access your data packet. Even Wireshark can able to capture your packets. So the best practice is, let us try to secure uh, your network, and to secure we generally used to buy the managed switches. Now in case of managed switches, because the technology do not have the process to share the resources, it's not a common memory area or like a hub, so it is not working like that. They have their own setups where they can manage the speed bandwidth limit from the back end, right? So same way, same pattern. Now to run the Wireshark on the managed switch, there is a concept. You need to check on which port number your cable is connected with your system. So check that port, and if that uh, port configuration, you will see there, you will find a one checkbox which says that you can convert your regular port to the promiscuous mode. What is that? It is called as promiscuous mode. So if it is a promiscuous mode, that means now your drive being increased, right? Where you really want to collect the data, your data to be captured from the network. Now you have a huge network. So every copy of the packet goes to the IDS, that is called intrusion detection systems. So finally your data goes to intrusion detection system, who basically try to evaluate that what type of data behind the packets, and in case if anything is suspicious they can request you to open it, right? So if you really want a security, so best practices, always go and buy the what managed switches. for your network, right? Because if you share the cable or the LAN or Wi-Fi to others, then they can penetrate anytime. Is that clear? Any doubt? So can you try this Wireshark? Good. So just try the Wireshark quickly. Yeah, it will take some time to download Wireshark also. Little heavy application, but it's really good to go. So please try Wireshark. So just do it. Everybody just go through with that. Yes, is there any doubt to anyone using Wireshark? Is there any doubt to anyone using Wireshark? I hope you all are downloading and installing it. Please remember that would come generally in the examination, theory and practical both. Good, good. Yes, you must please try it. हाँ यश थोड़ा सा टाइम लेता है, बिकॉज डाउनलोडिंग में ये लेता है टाइम। कोई बात नहीं, you must
Yes,
try
sir.
at your end. Otherwise, meanwhile, you can start with the firewalls. Now, what are firewalls? And start writing the policies within the firewalls. See, firewalls are the special type of application which you use to take care for your network traffic, right? So it basically allow or deny the packets generated on the networks. Now, generally, if we'll talk about firewall, so it is basically of two major type. One is host-based firewall, and second is network firewalls, right? So, network means they do not have any application-based control. So if you really want any application to be get control, in that case you need a host based firewalls. But if it is a network, then you have to download a, or basically we have a hardware level or software firewall. So basically everything is software. But if that software is deployed already in the hardware to manage the high bandwidth and control bandwidth, so in that case you need to install the network based firewalls. Like you must heard about many hardcore firewalls are available, right? Like Juniper, Cisco, Checkpoints, many good firewalls are available. And if you talk about host base, so your Windows already have the firewalls. In Windows Defender you can see the Windows firewall. In Linux we have IP tables, or IFW, right? So there are many firewalls available in our operating systems. So in Defender, if you can see, you will find two major chains, two major policies. One is inbound and second is outbound. So we in Linux we used to call it as a chain. So it's an input chain, output chain, and third one is also there called packet forwarding. So three types of policies are there. One is input chain, second is output, and third is packet forwarding, right? So there are three different types of chains. For all the incoming packet, we can block or we can write a policy whether we want to allow or deny based on protocols, IP addresses, based on port number, any type of activity to be controlled under a this input or output chains. Okay, so if the packet is incoming, then it is input chain. If the packet is outgoing from the network, then it is output chain. So accordingly, we can write the policies, we can check. So there is a wizard. If you can try to open a Windows and open a Windows Defender, just take a look how to block any packet. Let's say you want to ping. If you can able to ping, let's say ping space google.com. Now, ping command basically works on ICMP protocol. So even in your uh, this MSc 23 also it is written that we have to talk about information security and footprints. So how the footprint works, and I think we already had a talk on footprints earlier. Okay, so now think about what are the different type of protocols are there. and how we can work on those protocols, and can we able to block it or allow those protocols or those port numbers, etc. So firewalls are the best options where you can go and configure your machines, place your IPs or ports or any packet or any application, and you can even customize the firewall, like the size of the packet should not increase. If it is increased, then you can block. So you can mention all these things, protocol, any protocol, ICMP, ping command works on ICMP protocol. So ICMP, TCP/IP, and your UDP or HTTP, FTP, SMTP, whatever the protocol you want to configure, you want to accept or deny, or any random port number from where you receive some data packet or transfer the data packets, you can able to control that firewalls, right? And you can able to manage it accordingly. So try and use Windows if you are already on Windows, so you can try. And if you are on Linux, then try IP tables. The best part in Linux, and especially even the servers, are IP tables. Even you have a IP tables, this is what you can try in Linux, right? And all the rules and how you can mention these rules and all. So just take a look the concept of IP tables, and in detail you will find all their values, all the informations, right? So how to write the chain means input, forwarding, and output chains, right? So in Linux, it is highly recommended to use IP tables, or these days we use IFW. That's again one of the firewall, unified firewall, UFW. Unified firewall is there. So we use UFW. UFW is a good one. You can try. That is UFW. So unified firewalls are there. You can try those firewalls, and see how we can write the policies in firewalls. So list all the IP firewall policies. Even you can write the policy to block like DOS, DDoS attacks, or any specific activities. You can mention and create your own policies, customized policies, and deploy on your Linux servers. So that is one of the best practice. You can try and see the list of policies, how to delete rule, add rule, save rules. So many things you will find out once you start working on these IP tables, right? So in Linux, we have in the Linux servers or any Linux architecture, you have IP tables. And same if you want to implement, that is Windows Firewall. But today Windows Firewall is already embedded with the software called Defender. So you need to try the Defender. See, these are the commands by which you can check, you can initiate, you can identify which port accept करना है, deny करना है, what type of packet, which type of chain, which protocol. So this way we have to write the policies for every protocol, or types of connections, or every particular port. So all the details are available. This way we can initialize and define the policies in the firewalls, right? So please everybody try using whatever the operating system you're using. You can try these policies. UFW also works on, I think, Mac, if you can try on Mac. So again you will find that. Otherwise IP table is a common for all the Linux platforms. In fact, I have seen most of the expensive network hardwares, network firewall especially, right? Like Juniper and PFSense is very good product, and many other products are there which I have seen. And these products are nothing but on the back end they are using IP tables. So you can take a one dedicated high speed network interface machine where you can transfer a high speed networks, and on that just deploy a Linux and configure IP tables. More than enough. You can even make or customize your own firewalls, so you can able to manage your network firewalls accordingly. So as per the policies you can able to control, right? Another concept is what is IDS and IPS. What is IDS? IDS is the intrusion detection system. Basically, everything is not a malware. For malware, we have anti-malwares. Like for virus, we have antivirus, right? But what happen in case if there is any intruder activity, some network attacks like DOS, DDoS, port scanning on anonymous servers, and you are on the defensive side. So if you are on the security side or defensive side, how you will mitigate from all these attacks? So best practice, obviously we can write the policies in the firewalls first. But second, what all the packets being allowed, because you have to either allow or deny. Remember, firewall cannot check the content of the packet. Firewall can only check the rules. That if it is, let's say, HTTPS packet or HTTP or FTP packet, and if you allow, then it simply transfers. Hardly matters that file carries a malware or a data. So FTP never stops. If you open FTP, they are ready to accept the files. But now, so it means in the firewall, suppose you want to make a one FTP server, so you are ready to accept the files. And as you receive all those files, right, by using FTP, concern is like how do we able to analyze that which user have a suspicious activity, anomaly activities. So if I want to really identify their activities, in that case I need to explore the data. So IDS, intrusion detection system, creates a duplicate copy of the data packet, analyze the data through that packet, and they generate the list of notifications to the admin that see these are the activities belongs to certain severity level. And severity levels like extremely high, critical, high, medium, low, informative. So in case if there is any malicious activity identified according to the pre-trained model, and from that model they'll correlate, and based on that correlation then they analyze how things works, and finally it generates the results. Got it? So intrusion detection system. But again, there are limitations with IDS. Intrusion detection system only able to detect. They cannot block or allow the packets. They only generate the notification through mail, through logs, or any reporting portal or notification portal like WhatsApp, business account, or something like. So you will only get the notification. Doesn't mean it really implements something. It triggers to save your part. No, for triggering, like to allow or deny such packets, the concept is firewall. So we want to merge firewall and IDS together. So there might you heard about new concept called next gen firewalls. A question भी आता है, what is the concept of NG firewall? NG means next generational firewalls. Or today you might heard about the keyword called UTM, unified threat modeling. So what are the unified threat models? So UTMs or next gen firewalls, basically they are targeting to analyze the data, identify their activity, and if anything which is predefined, signature based or predefined, they'll just correlate with that and automatically take some action. So to take the action, now what action need to be taken care? For that we need another product called IPS. that is intrusion prevention systems. So intrusion prevention system is the system. You can try like Surikata, and one is snort, snort, snort. बट इसके लिए थोड़ा सा पहले सर्वर्स बनेंगे. यू नीड टू टेक गुड टाइम to learn, and please try on the some virtual machines only. Don't deploy it directly on your machine, because you need to configure and you have to fight little bit, how to configure, how to check, how to collect, and testings and all will generally take time. Okay, so instead of getting into it directly installation, at least you should be aware of some good products like snort, 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 and next is surikata. So you can try surikata and snort, right? I hope this concept is clear. So IPS, the job of the IPS is intrusion prevention system. How it prevents? So IPS used to, generally IPS is waiting to get the notification generated by the IDS, and based on those notification, the IPS generate a new policy, automated policies within the firewall, so that immediately firewall can trigger certain actions and allow or deny that particular type of data packets. So everywhere there must be some patterns. So you need to identify those patterns and apply the policies on that basis. This is the culture of your this how you can get into it and how you can build this model. So very expensive hardwares are there for hardware firewalls, and obviously software firewall is free of cost because it is pre-deployed in your operating system. But make sure your operating system must be updated in case if you are on Windows, and why not in Linux also, you need to update and check with the latest versions, and then write your policies accordingly. So this is how the means the main purpose of the firewall intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system, apart from any anti malwares. So याद रखना है, आपसे अगर कोई क्वेश्चन पूछता है, कैन वी block virus using firewall? So the answer is no. We cannot block virus with firewall, because firewall cannot able to analyze the data packet. पैकेट के अंदर वो वायरस है या ओरिजिनल लेजिटिमेट पैकेट है, हाउ कैन वी अंडरस्टैंड? है ना, कॉलेज यूनिवर्सिटीज के गेट पे, एंट्री गेट पे वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा ये देख सकते हैं आपके पास आईडी कार्ड है या नहीं है. वो फेक है, आप सच में उस क्लास में पढ़ते हो या नहीं पढ़ते हो, आप सच में अंदर किससे मिलने जा रहे हो, उसी से ही मिलने जा रहे हो या नहीं. सो द सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स आर लीस्ट बॉदर अबाउट इट. They need to identify the patterns. If your pattern matches with their constraints, you are allowed, otherwise not. So there are certain constraints. We need to understand how thing works. तो तीन कैटेगरी में सिक्योरिटी इंप्लीमेंट होती है, और नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी का मतलब ही तीन ये मेजर प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं, आपका फायरवॉल, आईडीएस एंड आईपीएस, राइट. सो मेनी फायरवॉल्स आर देयर. ये है ना, यूएफडब्ल्यू है, यूबुंटू का है, यूनिफाइड फायरवॉल्स हैं, आईपी टेबल्स हैं, ऐसे बहुत सारे आपको मिलेंगे. बट द बेस्ट इज अगेन यू कैन गो फॉर द बेस, जो कोर रॉ लेवल पे है, वो है आईपी टेबल्स, एंड दैट इज अवेलेबल इन ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द लिनक्स, राइट. सो यू कैन ट्राई आईपी टेबल्स in Linux if you are a Linux user. Otherwise in Windows, go with the Windows Defender. Right. Okay, so quickly let us take a look. There are four good blocks for your MSCI 023, which is a basic architecture of cybersecurity, but most of the things has already been covered. Apart from some couple of things, so information gathering. Whenever you're talking about the concept of information gathering, I think you must know about the three major things I told you earlier as well. That is related to social engineering, footprinting, and scanning. So make sure you must be comfortable for footprints. How to identify the footprints means IP addresses of someone, and their MAC address, their browser, their operating system details, whomsoever is trying to connect to you, or any person who is located anywhere on the globe and they are accessing internet services. So even somebody is using there is a concept, even it is possible that somebody is using VPNs. So without going and getting into VPN, we can try to trace your details from your machine. We can extract that data, and again we can forward that data to the destination. So if you are using VPN, yes or no, we can able to analyze. That is quite possible. So even to identify the people beyond the VPN, yes, it is quite possible. But for that, some apps must be deployed on the destination systems. So once you can able to deploy, then you can able to gather all that data. There is a one more command called tracert, TRACERT, that works on Windows. In case of Linux, the command is traceroute, TRACERTROUTE. So traceroute or tracert, in Windows it's tracert. So you can trace the route from your machine to any destination. Like, I'll show you. You can try like trace route. Then let's say if I'll say google.com. Now it displays you the list of the IP addresses and all the routers which comes from my machine till Google. So how many hops are there? How many live routers are there? It displays you the complete details. So my data started from my router, that is 1.1, then it goes to my broadband provider, then so and so, and finally my machine can able to generate the packet and transfer that packet to Google by using these 9 different hops. There are total 30 hops, which are maximum, always 30 hops, not more than that, because more than 30 hops, then packet lost actually, right? And each packet is of 60 bytes. If we are sending it, right? So first my packet goes to gateway, then it goes to my ISP. So it means if you are on VPN, even though you are on VPN, hardly matters, your data must be going through with this channel. So every time, let's say you want to go with a Google, but you are going now via your VPN. So obviously your machine, your gateway must be the same. Your ISP must be the same. Then ISP will transfer your data packet to suppose your some VPN. And from VPN, then the request goes to the Google. So you will get the entire chain, entire list. If you can try, you can see there's a big list, and you can able to trace the entire list, that how my data started from my machine to the destination. So if we can able to extract such details remotely, we can even trace the users who are beyond VPN. So we can trace them, but in that case, we have to deploy some detail, some spyware application to the destination. And once we reach to the destination, from there, it will start generating the data packet. It is called as a reverse TCP connections. So we generally try to create a reverse TCP connections, and through that, we try to grab your information, your mobile and your laptop or your computer information from these areas. So this is one of the best option how we can proceed, and we can grab the information, right? Is that clear to all? So think about how you can generate the data packets, how you can collect that data packets, how you can place it in some text file, and how you can forward that data to some remote or cloud servers. So this is one of the technique how the thing works, right? So this is the architecture information gathering. The more in detail if you want to go for, you will find it's a information gathering. So three different ways. Even port scanning is a part of information gathering. So in the morning, I explain you what is Nmap and other port scanners. There are different technologies behind port scanners like TCP scan, UDP scan, FIN scan, then protocol based scans like sync scan, ACK scan, FIN scan, okay, then ICMP or ping scan. So there are many different types of scanning techniques to identify whether that port is open on the destination or not, right? So this is one of the way how we used to capture the data, identify the user's information. There, then further you can go for geolocation, their IP address. There are many more things which we can trace, right? Is that clear? So try to figure out the data like how it is working. This is all about this first unit. Even you can download and check how it works. Next is you have a database security. Now in case of database security, before we'll go to database, I think you should learn the web technologies. Now in case of web technologies, always remember you have to go through one of the best architecture for web security, that concept called as OWASP. ये एग्जाम में आएगा जी, कभी भी सिक्योरिटी से रिलेटेड आप बात करेंगे और वेब सिक्योरिटी से रिलेटेड होगा, सो यू हैव टू आंसर दिस OWASP, दैट इज रिलेटेड टू ओपन वेब एप्लीकेशन सिक्योरिटी प्रोजेक्ट. इसमें आप टॉप 10 vulnerabilities देखिए, and once you will see these top 10 vulnerabilities, you will identify, see what are the common attacks and the massive attacks being committed on even your mobile apps. के लिए भी है हमारे पास OWASP techniques and global techniques. So there, this is what the chart which you have to learn. Okay, in 2017 the first top 10 list was generated, and in 2021 afterwards it's generated, and we are expecting 2025 as well soon. And 2025 will get a updated one, but meanwhile this is the official website owasp.org, and there you can see the top 10 attacks, and there you will find in web application that's a broken access control. So you have a page but it's a broken access control, means without any authenticity somebody can access. So there is a broken authentication for any particular component, or web component, or some libraries, or any other such details which is directly accessible without any component, means without any security. So we need, this is one of the major attacks. And now the priority which was earlier on the, I think, fourth stage. So today it is on the first stage. So top 10 attacks you always need to remember from this OWASP, and you have to write all these things, right? So first is your broken access control, second is your cryptographic failure. So even you try to implement the cryptographic algorithm, but your keys are available commonly, so you are not securing it, or somebody or on a group you are sharing your keys, so others can also misuse. Okay. Third, the actually problem which is on the first stage, now it has been controlled or mitigated, but still it comes to the third stage called injections. So as we have to talk about database, so even in your database we need to learn what is SQL injections, what is structured query language, how database performs, what do you mean by the concept called normalization, right? You need to learn all these points and then start working on your uh, different types of attacks. and collection of their payloads or evidences of this different types of attacks. Okay, so injections are very important because injections like that could be a HT, your you have a various protocol, no? LDAP, like so lightweight directory access protocols. So in case if you feel that you have a insecure designs or some injections which are going on, so you can predict, you can analyze and find the hidden details which is running on the website. So it's more like coding based, the bugs within the code, right? It's just like that, right? Is that clear? So you have various different attacks. So first is your, as I said, broken access. Second is cryptographic. Third is injection. So in database, the most important attack called as SQL injection. In database, you have SQL injection. However, our users are also not only on database every time, but for SME, yes, it is on databases. But for other high-end, kind of attacks, if you need to mitigate, so we need to figure out like what are the common attacks, and at least we should create a first isolated environment, and then you fire whatever the content or the projects which you have in mind, you can try. But see the vulnerabilities in your applications. So first is your broken access control. That's what cryptographic failure, injections. Then insecure design. Your design coding is insecure. Security misconfiguration. Now, as you know, thousands of parameters are there to configure the things. Misconfiguration means somebody asked to give you the details, which is something else, and further, you can say that design is insecure, means your data can be easily accessible, or backdoors are open, so that you can able, or any remote hacker can directly go to the link, they'll type the link, try to take the privilege and simply in, right? Same way we have a security configuration, vulnerable and outdated components. Again, very important, like how many systems are vulnerable or outdated because of some versions. Then only also you can see the all the outdated and deprecated functions or components, and identification and the authentication failure. That's another game, that you are not authorized to access the data, however you are logged in, and or even you are not being allowed to log in. So many challenges, all are coding based challenges. So web means again divided into two categories. One is server side script and second is client side script. So client side means that you are into the development, and you're trying to patch up whatever is within the data transmission mode, right? So there you can see the security misconfiguration or vulnerable outdated components, authentication failure, without username password somebody can access the pages on the back end, software and data integrity failures. Like you want to upgrade your data, the moment you upgrade some libraries, what you identified that your application, web application, does not support, because they want like a old version of PHP or old version of databases, and you have updated, and as you updated, now the many of the methods might be deprecated because the development being committed on the older versions. So such kind of challenges are also there, and due to which people take the benefits of these challenges, and because at that time it's more vulnerable, so they try to hit and gain the privilege. So next is software and data integrity. I think what is integrity and software? I have explained in the morning. So next is security login and monitoring failure. That is what your IDS, IPS firewalls, right? Which we used to take care. But what about from the coding perspective? And other is like one is CSRF attack, client side request forgery. But here we are talking about especially now for server side request forgery. So SS RFs, server side request forgery, is the another good point which has been added to your this list of 2021. Now you need to actually see how people used to make the attacks on SQL injection like databases and how injection implements. So in such scenario you can try. One is SQL map. In Linux, that's a very good tool called SQL map. But make sure your link must be giving you the answer that yes, this site is more vulnerable. How to identify from the SQL injection whether your sites are vulnerable or not? So for that, we used to go with the docs. There are certain docs. I will show you the docs. Say there you will see. Let's say I want to go for SQL injection. SQL injection docs on Google. Okay, if you'll search like this docs, and you will find a lot of websites are there which are vulnerable because of these docs. So open these tabs. So again, I hope yeah, you can find a lot of docs over there. These all are the special type of keywords which you need to identify. And in case if you found any doc, so let's say if I'll copy any doc and on Google, just go on Google and just type these docs and search a doc like this, you will find thousands of websites. Now if any particular website where these docs are applicable, I don't know whether it's the same one or any other one, you can try on any particular doc or any website where you find these kind of codes running. Okay, it means those sites might be vulnerable by using these docs. So let me try to open it. Yeah, you can find many websites something like that. And let's say I'll open one of the website. Now according to this doc, let's say we need to analyze whether really it is vulnerable or not. So if you want to access, just go that site and type single quote and press enter. If you type single quote and enter, and if there is any error on the website, if you find some errors on the website, that means the site is vulnerable for SQL injections. And now further to apply SQL injection, you need the tools, lot of tools, how you can work out on it. Okay, so you need to figure out, is there any tool available, and how can we explore any sites, and any site if it generates some error, and this is not a error, we need to means we need to explore actually. And yeah, okay, I'll try this one. always try to identify whether it's like question mark id equals to some number, something like that or not. If it is so, and now let's say if I'll say single quote and if I'll press enter, if it generates some errors, okay, if it generates some errors, that means that site is vulnerable for SQL injection. They are not generating the error. In fact, they consider single quote as a code of percentage 27. So they basically, this is called URL encode method. They applied URL encoding, and they try to mitigate the risk like this. But if there is any error, that means in that case the site is vulnerable, and as if it is vulnerable, you can hijack their database from the site, from the front end. For more details, you must go through with the software called Nmap. There is a one more Windows based software called Havij, Havij, Havij. Only first you need to explore the link. If you get these links, good links, based on those links, then you can try to hit on those links and accomplish your task accordingly. So many attacks possible by using SQL, blind SQL injection, SQL injection. So please go through these topics very, very carefully, very, very important. Okay. So accordingly, I think you need to try. So this way you can identify lots of attacks quite possible, and you can implement those attacks. So ultimately you need to learn OWASP and all top 10 attacks on the web applications. So that what like you need to figure out where we have will find some attacks. Mostly these all are providers these days rather than applying any attack. So you have to find a good dock, and many docks are there. Accordingly, you need to figure out any particular dock, and I think simply you can bypass the security. So go through with the database security hacks, web technology. So in case of web, try to think about how to secure your servers and audit your servers, web servers, and on the back end for coding, OWASP. Learn about OWASP. So these are the most important topics which generally comes into your examinations. Then internet technology and internet security, I think you can understand various protocols, various application, web-based applications, and how to secure those web applications. CAPTCHA, some modules behind the websites. Why do we apply CAPTCHA? Basically to block the bots. There are a lot of bots who access your websites, crawl your websites, and capture a lot of details from the bots. And based on that, they can analyze the traffic, your clientage, from where you are getting these requests, and many more evaluate means analytical based and statistical based results being generated by these apps. So you can try good apps are there. One is very important. We use OpenVAS. Second is Acunetics. Third is Nessus. 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 Right. So you can try these apps, and these apps will certainly going to help you for server-based audits, and for coding, whatever the code you deployed on the web server. For that, we need to go through with the OpenVAS. For OpenVAS, the product is you can try one product called one is OpenVAS, second is Nessus. So these are the good products which you can try. I hope the concept is clear. So please download these all four modules also of MSc E23, and check all their applications and different type of tools which are there behind this. हम्म, हो रहा है जी।